Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am so happy to be having a conversation with musician Madame Daley. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm very excited to be talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's get started. So first of all, I love all of your music. Where do you find inspiration for your songs?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Well, today being International Women's Day, I feel like that is a good place to jump off. A lot of my music deals with talking about women in music and sort of, the female experience. And so I would say a lot of my inspiration comes from women and the queer community and just sort of their power and their ability to keep pushing in maybe communities where they're not so much welcomed with open arms.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Where did the inspiration for your song Teenage Girls Made Rock and Roll come from?
Yeah, so I would say Teenage Girls Made Rock and Roll is sort of like looking at women in music from two different angles. I think from the fan side and then from the being a performer side, right? So,
Yeah,
it touches a little bit on the history of female fans, the baby groupies of the 70s
yeah,
until now, the people that have like Instagram fan accounts and things like that. And there's some lyrics that touch on that. Um,
yeah,
but at the same time, I think those fans experience a lot of judgment. I think young
yeah,
women are told that their music taste is bad or like what they
yeah,
care about is not as important. I think like a great example nowadays would be Taylor Swift. Like a lot of people are just very judgmental and just, they just like to hate for no reason.
yeah,
So it sort of touches on that. And then it also touches on the experience of being a female musician. Me and my band, the Star Child Band, which is all women, we experience a lot of microaggressions being in the music scene. A lot of, we get a lot of hate comments, about being women in rock and things like that. So yeah, I would say it's those two different angles of looking at that experience.
yeah. That I love that. Yeah, that from the moment I heard it, I was just like, I am obsessed with this song, and
That's
so
awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah. So is there a song of yours that is your favorite to perform?
Ooh, good question. I really like to perform I Don't Want It, because it's a very like funky song and me and my band get to like sort of jam out on it a little bit. We get to get a little groovy on it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So do you have a special songwriting process or any rituals that help you get in the right headspace to write?
Hmm. I would say a lot of the time I'll just like be doing mundane activities, riding the subway here in New York, and I will think of like a line or a song title, write that down. And then when I get inspired at a later time when I can actually be in front of an instrument, that's when I sort of take that idea and expand upon it.
Yeah.
But there are other times where I just get randomly inspired and then I'm just like, what am I feeling at the moment? What has been on my mind lately? And trying to put that into words.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so what is the best song to describe your life right now?
Ooh, of mine or just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
Ooh, I'd have to think about that for a second. My life in general right now. I would say, um, if you're familiar with the band Walk the Moon,
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of my favorite bands growing up, like in high school. And I've been able to spend a lot of time with my friends lately, which, in adult life, that's like not as that doesn't happen as often.
Yeah.
So I would say Me and All My Friends by Walk the Moon.
Oh, I love that. I love them, but I have not heard that song of theirs, so I'm gonna look it up right after.
Yeah, yeah, it's they went on hiatus recently,
Yeah.
and so they re-released some of their older music like pre their debut album. So yeah, I would definitely
Oh,
recommend it.
cool. Oh yeah, I will definitely be looking that up. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Surprised to learn about me. Um, oh, I would say that I'm an introvert. I think that, I have this stage persona and I wear all these colorful patterned fashions that are very like 60s, 70s inspired. But sort of the inspiration behind creating Madame Daley, the stage persona, was sort of that side of me that's very introverted. I was very, very shy growing up. And a lot of social anxiety, it prevented me from sort of expressing my true self. And so that is sort of, I made Madame Daley as sort of a tool to make it easier to express myself on stage. I think that it's so funny that it's like easier to be your true self when you're pretending to be someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like sort of drag inspired. I think a lot of drag queens feel that way as well. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Is there a song that whenever you hear it, it makes you emotional?
Um, I would say Stars by Nina Simone. Well, her cover of it, it's a song by Janice Ian originally. But there's this one specific live performance that she just like goes somewhere else in it. You know what I mean? Like she's just so
Yeah.
lost in it. And it's
Yeah.
such a beautiful performance. The song is about sort of the pressures of stardom and how it sort of breaks people sometimes. And yeah, it makes me cry every time.
Oh, wow. I have a couple songs. For There are a couple songs like that for me that just whenever um,
Yeah.
I hear them, I just can't help but cry.
Which songs? I'm curious.
Oh, there's a lot by so Ben Platt is one of my favorite singers. And his songs can either like make me just start sobbing or like singing along. It all depends what mood I'm in. So his music has definitely um helped me through a lot. His music is very therapeutic for me. So anything by him really, and um especially the his song So Will I, that one I will either just be sobbing through the whole thing or singing along. um and then Because of You by Kelly Clarkson.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Ben Platt is incredible. Me and my sister really
Yeah.
like his cover of Vienna by Billy Joel.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I could just talk I could talk about how much I love him for a long time. So I won't do that. Yeah. Um so I am pop culture obsessed and go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you're currently obsessed with?
Ooh, currently obsessed with. Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary is
Yeah,
so good. Quinta Bronson is hysterical, and I just think the cast is so good together. I really
yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm watching I've been watching binge watching Grimm for like the last year because I've taken breaks in between when like
Hmm.
I know I probably can't watch it right now without my anxiety getting high. If like I can't watch, like if I've taken breaks when my anxiety gets higher, so because I can't watch anything dark.
Yeah,
Um,
I
then
get that
so
way too.
yeah, yeah. So I'm finishing that up, and then I am also watching Chicago Med.
Oh,
So
oh, one
yeah.
of my old colleagues, I forget, Guy Lockhart, he's actually on that show.
Oh yeah, I love him. I love his character.
Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've interviewed a few cast members.
I'll
So,
have to connect you to Guy for sure.
oh, I would love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Huh. So do you have a go-to show or movie when you just want to be comforted and like escape the world?
Yeah, I would say any of the Studio Ghibli films, especially like Totoro or Kiki's Delivery Service. I like grew up watching those with my siblings and they're just, they're so calm and beautiful. It's a nice way to check out.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I have lots of comfort shows and movies that I just rotate between. Yeah. Oh, so who do you most admire and how has that impacted the way you live your life?
Um, I would say my mom. She I have four siblings. And so she's always had a lot to juggle. She also had a small business while I was growing up. And she just like has this warmth about her where she kind of I have two adopted brothers and we kind of always joke that she just like adopts everyone, like all of our friends, like some of our friends call her mom. Um,
Yeah,
and I really admire that just true kindness in her, and I
yeah,
try to emulate that.
yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, my sister and I always joked with our mom, like in high school and and middle school, and that she like adopted all our friends, and all our friends called her Mama A, and
Oh, yeah,
so
very
yeah,
similar.
yeah. Um, So what, no matter how many times you see it, always takes your breath away?
Like a show or a movie, you mean?
Whatever, like a show or a movie or just something in real life, really whatever that question means for you.
Hey. Um, ooh, such a good one. I would say when I see Broadway shows,
Yeah,
yeah, they're just so transcendent and there's just, it's like the best of the best
yeah.
talent on stage. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, my family and I were in New York in October and we got to see our first Broadway show and it just yeah, it was incredible.
Which show did you see?
We saw Gutenberg.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I love Josh Gad and Andrew Rannell, so
Yeah. Yeah, I've interviewed Andrew a couple times and he's
oh,
a good
very cool.
friend. So,
Oh,
yeah.
awesome. That's lovely.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So have you seen any Broadway? shows recently?
Yeah, I just saw Merrily We Roll Along,
Oh,
with
wow. Yeah,
Jonathan Groff and Daniel Radcliffe and
yeah,
Lindsay Mendez.
yeah,
I've always really loved the music in that show, and it's an old Sondheim show, so I never thought that I'd get to like see a Broadway production of it. But
yeah,
they're just all so killer in it, and yeah, it's a beautiful show because it starts in the present and it goes
yeah,
backwards. So by the
yeah.
end of the show, it's like so heartbreaking because you know what happens to the characters.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it's like there's like this bit of like irony of like, yeah, I cried
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah, my family and I, we really, yeah, wanted to see that because, I mean, we are all fans of everybody in the show, and Jonathan Groff is one of my favorites because Spring Awakening is my favorite Broadway soundtrack. So, yeah, so that is so cool that you saw it.
Yeah, I got to go for my birthday. It was awesome.
Oh, well, happy, I'm trying to, belated happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I always mess that up, so I always have to think about it for a second, which words go where.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Daily basis. Um, I would say my friends and my family. I also just getting to live in New York, like it was one of my lifelong dreams. And so, the fact that I get
Yeah,
to live here and I get to perform here, it's been, I always try to take that gratitude in.
yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of just finding the little things that bring you joy.
Totally.
Yeah. Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Ooh. Um, Maybe a dramedy. I always really enjoy drama and
Yeah,
comedy coming together.
yeah,
Um, it'd probably be more lighthearted than drama, but yeah.
yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love rom-coms, and so I want it to, I think mine would probably, I'd want it to somehow be a rom-com, but I think it would also be like a dark comedy. Because my family and I, we joke with everything we've been through that we have such a warped sense of humor. So we always are laughing at things that other people would not.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. For sure. I think that's like a necessity sometimes to get through
yeah,
the darkness, for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. Yeah. Um, So I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls your life. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
I literally just quoted this to a friend yesterday. It's a quote from Amy Poehler, and it goes, there's power in looking silly and not caring that you do.
Yeah.
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 I think that there there's a lot of like braveness that comes in just being silly and not caring at all. And just, being your authentic self.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that quote. Yeah. Um, well, that was my last question. It was So much fun talking with you. I've been so excited for this, and I just had such a great time. So I
Yay.
thank you. I so appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. I was excited when you reached out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.